All right, everyone. Well, today it's a second red day recap. 2 red days in a row. This always seems to happen. The red days are clustered together. But you know what? I'm learning from the mistake I made yesterday and I'm walking away. And the big difference between yesterday and today is that yesterday, if you recall during my recap, yesterday was a max loss red day where I spiraled, I broke my rules, I traded past max loss, and I finished down $9,000. And it all sort of stemmed back to one really critical moment. Do you remember that moment? It was when I went from green on the day to red. I was up $1,600, and then in one trade, I lost $2,000, $3,000, and I was down $2,000. And I was like, no, that feeling of no, I want it back right now is what led me to start being more impulsive, more aggressive, and reduce my quality standard. So today, on my first couple of trades, I made $1,000. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty good. Now, I didn't stop there. I did not increase my share size today. Even though I was up over $1,000, which is sort of my minimum for sizing up. If you recall, I trade 5,000 shares until I've made $1,000. And then once I'm up over 1,000, I'll take the cap off and start trading with 10, 15,000 shares, whatever. So I didn't take the cap off. But on my next trade, on the third trade, I gave back the full 1,000. And I was up about 100 on the day. Okay, so I was still green, but not by a lot. I took a few more trades and got myself back to up 500. And then in one trade, I lost $2,000 and I was down 1,600. And immediately I felt that kind of, kick. I was like, no, not again. 2 red days in a row. Back to feeling the frustration from yesterday. And I started thinking, all right, well, I'm down 1,600. I've got to get with 5,000 shares. Now I'm going to need to get a 30-cent winner just to get flat. Is that going to happen? I might need to size up. And I'm like, no. See, that's what you're doing. You're thinking about increasing size to recoup losses. This right now is the moment I should have walked away yesterday. So I'm going to do what I should have done yesterday, and I'm going to walk away right now. So I'm red. I'm red $1,600. I'm red on the two stocks I traded. And you know what? On an ordinary day, $1,600 red day doesn't mean anything. I don't care about it. Now, today I care about it. And the only reason I care about it is because I was also red yesterday. So now I'm doing the math. I'm like, this 9,000 plus 1,600, that's a $10,000 drawdown. Now, see, the mind starts sucking you in. And it's trying to justify the things that you're going to do to recoup the losses. And that's when you get yourself into trouble. So I'm down 1,600. And although it's going to be a red day, today is going to be the first day of beginning a new streak of consecutive days of discipline. Now, I would love more than anything for a stock to pop up in the next 15 minutes and for me to make $5,000, $6,000 on it. I would make back half of yesterday's loss. I'd be back to green on the day. That would feel really good. And because it would feel so good, I would almost be willing to delude myself into thinking that a B or C quality setup might do that. And this is, again, where the mind plays this trick on you because, for instance, yesterday, once I had sort of accepted that I'd lost my discipline streak by continuing to trade down to max loss and spiraling, then I just sort of felt like, well, I've already screwed up anyways. So what's one more trade? You know what I mean? And that it was like, I just sort of felt like there was no real chance at redemption. Like I had already gone so far past what I was okay with that what did it matter? So yesterday, trading past my max loss, I ended up losing an additional $3,000. That was the cost of trading past max loss yesterday, which is a real cost. And it's unfortunate that I did that, but that was a decision that I made. I am not happy with it. And so I'm applying the lessons from yesterday to today. And G-Sun was the stock that I made and lost on. This one, so to sort of step back and talk about the day at large, we sat down this morning and, as always, I pull up the scans on my phone, usually pretty early in the morning. I pull them up. I guess I closed that tab, but whatever. So, and I saw there wasn't really anything I liked. We had a couple of stocks that were gapping up, 30, 40%, but nothing huge. And several of the gappers had higher floats or were lower price, like this one and this one. And I was just kind of like, not really feeling it. So anyway, sat down around 7:30, bottom of the hour, there was no news. 8 a.m., top of the hour, nothing. 8:30, bottom of the hour, nothing. 9 a.m., top of the hour, nothing. So as we came into the open, I hadn't taken a single trade yet. And I was like, is this going to be a no trade day? And then at the open, G-Sun started to pull away. And I took my first trade on it at 520. It held over 5. And as it pulled away, I was like, okay, I'll take a trade right here. So, the thing was, I was a little iffy about it because it had already shown a little bit of this choppiness. So I was a little nervous. But I did 2,500 share starter. It ends up squeezing up, broke the ice, $500. Then I add back up here for the breakthrough 6 and made another 500 and got myself up $1,000. And honestly, it's not a huge win considering this went up $2 a share from my entry. But nonetheless, that's what I did. And then I got stopped out on it and gave back half my profit right here. So I added back for the move higher, rejected, stopped out. All right. Then as it curled back up here, I got back in, but I didn't buy the top. I actually bought this dip at 60. And the reason I bought that dip at 60 was because the previous breakout spot was about 650. So I thought pulling back here will probably bounce off the $0.50 and then curl back up flush. We rejected, and then I stopped out. So, and then that was it. Now in this area, this is the moment where I was like, okay, well, maybe I should go, maybe I could, get back in, and this thing still is kind of doing an ABCD pattern. And then I say, you know what? NUVE or whatever it was yesterday looked very similar. And you know what happened? Big rejection. Boom. Same thing. Same thing. Same story. Different stock, different day, but same pattern. And I'm glad that I had the discipline to step away. Am I bummed that I'm down? Sure. I would prefer to be green. I would prefer to be up 1,000. Maybe that last trade that I took up here, I should have sold a little sooner. And the reason I held as long as I did was because once I was red on it, I was like, uh-oh. I'm going to be red on the day. And I started thinking, it's going to make me a second consecutive red day. So I kind of gave it a little bit more time, hoping it would turn around, emotion, and then flush stops out. But never exceeded my max position size today of 5,000 shares. I didn't break any of my rules. So, I'm all good on that. And I'm walking away at the right time, which means today is a day of discipline. It's a day where the emotions were high and I'm frustrated because I'm red, but being red, $1,661.59 is not, it's not enough of a red that it makes any difference whatsoever, right? Like this doesn't matter. So I'm really okay with stepping back and calling it just a red day recap and not overstaying my welcome. Now, what was interesting was we sort of had a flurry of momentum. G-Sun popped up, MSGM popped up. We had PLTN, and look at this rejection. Nasty rejection on that. Lost $75. Not a big deal, but was red. PLTN, this one popped up. Recent special acquisition company, starting to move a little bit. MTC popped up. It was just like we had a bunch of things popping up, but everything kind of rejected and was not holding up really well. So, I don't know. It's weird. The price action yesterday was weird and difficult, and today wasn't that much better. I would, as it turns out, have done better if I was a little more aggressive at the beginning of this move. I just traded the same position sizes more or less. Actually, I was smaller and then I sized up to 5,000. But, after the MACD crossover, I thought the MACD was going to cross and I was doing a dip. But again, it just, got away from me. So, yeah, that's a tough day. It's a tough week right now. I did see a number of other people that were red yesterday. So I guess I felt a little bit better seeing that, just in the sense that I was like, okay, I guess I'm not alone. Sometimes on a day where I'm red and everyone else crushes it, I'm like, man, I really, really screwed up. Like, what did I do wrong? But when I see other people are red too, it's sort of like, okay, I guess I can forgive myself a little bit on this. The market was tricky, and, I could forgive myself easier today because I followed my rules, at least. Being red, but you follow your rules is totally okay. That's why I call it a successful red day. Max loss and breaking rules yesterday, that was not great. But, the only thing I can do is put it behind me, try to apply some of the lessons I learned from that loss towards today. And the biggest one was that for me, that trigger of going from green to red really sent me off on a spiral yesterday. I didn't think I honestly didn't. I don't think I realized in the moment how upsetting it was, because it's not a huge amount of money that I was even red. I was only red like $2,000 yesterday, but it just, next thing you know, I was down 2,800, then 4,000, and then just all of a sudden now the loss is getting bigger. And when the loss gets bigger, then I'm starting to think, wow, that's as much as I made in the last week. Now I'm starting to give up too much, and I get frustrated with myself, and then emotions start to pick up even more. So the only way out of a drawdown is through discipline. I know that very well. I am already trading with the 5,000 share cap that I need in order to not let myself get out of control, as long as I follow that rule. And so at this point today, more or less could be considered a first day of trader rehab. The only thing I did today is that in trader rehab, usually I would say after your first trade that's green, just walk away, just because it's important to build some confidence. And in hindsight, I guess I probably should have done that, but nonetheless, that wasn't a rule that I'd set for today that I broke. That's just sort of in hindsight, that probably would have been a good idea, but it's okay. Again, the red day today is not super consequential in terms of dollar amount. It's more that on the emotional side, the wins are really helpful. So not going to have a win today because, I'm at my cutoff point, hard stop because of the trigger of going from green to red, but I'll be back at it tomorrow. And my hope is that tomorrow, we have some stocks on the scanner pre-market that actually look good, that have news. On days when it's connecting, it's like, I'll buy a stock at 550. Next thing you know, it's at 575. It's at 625, 640, 650, 675, tap 7. And I'm like, I'm out with $7,000 of profit. And it's like, wow, that was 5 minutes of just clean price action, something moving really nicely. And then on other days like today, it's like, you can't even make $250. It's like everything feels like a struggle. Now, I did get green and went back to red, but even still, at this point, I don't see anything, even if I wasn't maxed out or, had got knocked out because of the trigger, I don't see anything that I should be trading right now. So it's just a funny market. I don't know. But anyways, that's part of the deal. You've got to be able to adapt to these changes in the market. And so made a good pivot today, feeling good about it. And that lets me enjoy the rest of the day. I'm not going to sit here feeling bent out of shape that I'm down $1,600. I'm going to feel good because I had the discipline to follow my rules. And that was the ultimate goal for today. Focus on the process. Profits are a byproduct. There will be some days where you follow the process and you come out red. That's the luck of the draw. It's the way the cookie crumbles. This is trading. You're not going to be green every day. So you can't get bent out of shape about that. Is it fun to have consecutive back-to-back red days? No. But if they're small and you followed your rules, then that still doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. The only reason I'm really disappointed is because of yesterday. And I'm trying to just kind of put that behind me and, move forward, because dwelling on it isn't going to change anything. And I think the best thing I could do is take the lessons from yesterday and apply them to today, which I did. And I'll continue to do that as the week goes on. So I want to thank you as always for tuning in. I hope you hit that thumbs up. I hope you are subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for those of you guys who are members at Warrior Trading. If you haven't already checked out our 2-week trial, you're welcome to check it out. Of course, you're getting to watch 2 days of me kind of like, eating dirt and not getting kicked in the face by the market. But this is the real deal. I show you the whole thing. I mean, you can see my P&L statement while I'm trading. So you see where I'm up, where I'm down. You see what I do. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you. I'll be uploading the recap tomorrow, and I've got another episode that I just uploaded here for today that I think you'll really enjoy. So I'll put the link to that like right here. So check that out. That's on the 3 simple steps that I took that made reading candlestick charts easier, because there was a time when I was a beginner trader where I remember looking at candlestick charts and I didn't see a darn thing. I was just like, this is a foreign language. It doesn't make sense. It is a foreign language. This is a language, the language of the financial markets. And once you learn it, well, that's when things get fun. All right. So I'll see you guys back at tomorrow. I'll remind you, as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical. There's no guarantee you'll find success. Whether you trade with me or you learn on your own. So you better manage your risk, take it slow. I'll see you back here for the next episode real soon.